do you trust Jimmy Haslam to make a rational, reasonable decision, or does he dig in?
I know. And hopefully Jimmy Haslam is not too much a part of that conversation. What I would say,
how would he not be, though? For something like this, how would he not be?
I know. You're right. He's going to get involved to a degree, but hopefully it's not just like, I'm the owner and I want to keep him, even though he doesn't want to be here anymore, and we can get all this great value, but I want to make a point and keep him. I just hope that doesn't happen. I guess
would you
that's
get
what
on
I'm saying.
a plane and go straight to Myles Garrett now?
Yeah.
Hat in hand, genuflect, what can we do to fix this? Would you do that if you were the owner of the team?
I certainly would be calling to see if there's anything we can do there. But I have a feeling those conversations have happened, and that's why we are where we are.
This is a big move, and
it's a
rare.
big move.
It's a rare
and
move.
It's such a well-thought-out way to do it would make me think that this has been, percolating in his head for quite some time. And the other part of this, Mike, is like, I don't know. I'm not always great at this when I just think about it right off the bat and just thinking out of his head, what do you think he demands in a trade? I would think I think with his contract, and as long as he's not asking for more, I mean, this is one where is 2 first-rounders going to be a part of the equation here?
First of all, I can't imagine him not wanting to get a raise
or more money
as part of this.
Yes.
The market has changed since he signed his extension.
Yep.
I'm looking at the Khalil Mack trade from several years ago. What was his trade? His trade was
Bears to the Chargers or Raiders to the Bears?
The one that sent him to
the Bears.
The Bears.
Yeah.
Right. And first round pick, 2 first round picks.
Yep.
A third round pick, a 6th round pick, and the Bears get a.
They got like a.
Oh, they got something back. You know how they do the grains of rice? Yeah, no, they got a 2nd round pick back and a conditional 5th.
Okay.
So the Bears gave up 2 1s, a 3, and a 6, and they got Mack and a 2 with a conditional 5th round.
Okay.
So it's kind of it's definitely 2 first rounders plus.
Yeah.
But it's a 3 and you get a 2 back.
Right.
And a 6 and you get a conditional 5 back. So you could argue, depending on how it played out, it might be a hair under 2 1s because you upgraded. The Bears did a 3 to a 2,
and the Bears
and a 6 to a 5.
pay Khalil Mack though too.
Yeah,
right?
they
Didn't
signed him
the
to
new
a
contract?
6-year, $141 million extension.
Right. So that to me would make me think, as long as Myles Garrett isn't asking for something like that, the value might even be more or equal to.
But don't you
Mack.
have to? We've criticized other teams for this. If you're acquiring Myles Garrett, you can't just say, I'm going to give this big windfall to the Browns under the assumption he doesn't want a new contract.
Right.
You've got to get him taken care of, because if you do that, then he's got all the power, and he can say, I want a contract. What are you going to do? You gave up all this stuff to get me. You better give me a contract. And he's only under contract for 2 more years.
2 more years, I know.
You want to acquire him with at least 4, if not 5 years.
Yeah, right.
At least 4.
I would agree. And that's, yes, a smart team would, hopefully reach out, know what Myles Garrett, his agent, representation, what they're looking for to, feel happy and be wherever it is he's going to be, when it's all said and done. But I'm going to be interested to see the teams that really start to get, serious about acquiring him and who they are going to be. Where
do you think he wants to go? Where do you think he wants to go? If he got to pick a team, where would he want to go?
Oh, my gosh, that's a good question. Well, probably Kansas City. Buffalo could use somebody like him. Again, Buffalo's highest paid player on the defensive side of the ball is Von Miller, who's not meeting that, production there. So that certainly makes sense to me. I would think Baltimore would be another place he'd want to go.
They wouldn't give up the draft picks.
No, probably not, unless they looked at it and went like, "Hey, we're ready right now, and maybe we want to go that way." Denver, would they want to do that? They got good pass rushers, so I don't imagine that. Right? NFC, is there any team here like Washington and Dan Quinn?
That would be something. Right? They have the money to burn this year.
And it's
They've got the money to burn.
Right. So
and they're going to be drafting lower. And obviously the teams are aware that at least where this year's first-round pick is going to be.
Yeah.
The Commanders are going to be lower than a team that would otherwise be in the top 5. It's a projection for 2026, but if they have Myles Garrett and you look at what they did last year, chances are that pick's going to be lower too. But that makes it easier to justify giving up the picks if you're a team that is already drafting on the low side and is confident that's going to continue into the future.
And I think those are the teams he's going to look at.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to go to Jacksonville or Las Vegas and become a rebuild situation and just hope things turn around. I think he's going to try to find a team where he's going to go, oh, no, they're kind of set up. They're ready. And now I can kind of be the finishing touch to push them over the edge there. And Washington is definitely a team in the NFC that makes sense in a lot of ways from all that they have to offer.
And this is a guy that even though he doesn't have a no-trade clause and they could trade him anywhere they want, they could send him to the NFL's equivalent of Siberia, assuming that's not already Cleveland. But they could send them to a bad team if they want. No one is going to trade for him if he doesn't want to be there. No one is going to want to give up all that stuff and acquire a guy who doesn't want to be there. It will. He's got a de facto no-trade clause under the circumstances wherein he will pick where he wants to go.
Yeah, right.
He'll pick his team
out
of the suitors. Hell, if I'm the Browns, I set up the same damn thing that the Texans set up to hoodwink the Browns. Pre-qualify like the Texans did for Deshaun Watson. That was a stroke of genius by Nick Caserio.
Right.
Here's what it takes to get to the table.
Right.
We approve it. All right, you're at the table.
Right.
It's up to Myles at that point.
Right.
And it'll be the Chiefs, and it'll be the Bills, and it'll be the Ravens, and it'll be this team, and it'll be that team, and then they get to bid each other up, and he gets the best possible deal. That's the way for the Browns to play it to their advantage. They just set their price, and that's the best way for Myles because once they're all at the table, he picks which one he wants. And maybe somebody's going to offer him a 5-year, $230 million fully guaranteed contract.
Yeah, it's all right. We're figuring things out. Between that and then figuring out however they want to do this trade contract situation to where the Browns don't have to take a huge salary cap, I think those things definitely make a lot of sense. Big news by one of the best defensive players we've had in football here for the last decade, basically. Incredible.
And I fully support players making decisions in their own best interest because teams make decisions in their own best interest all the time. Check out the dogs. All the dogs are playing.
I saw
all
them.
the time.
Before, yeah.
All the time. And we just accept it. Players have control. Now, what he could have done, and I keep waiting for someone to do this. You come in as a first-round pick. You got a 5-year contract. You could stay 7 years, tag twice, and then they're not going to tag you a third time. I'm waiting for the guy that just basically accepts, and it's probably going to be a quarterback. This is the first phase of my career. 7 years, and then I'm out. You're not going to tag me a third time. I'm never going to sign a second contract. That's how you get to a position where you've earned the opportunity to go wherever you want to go. This isn't the same thing because Garrett took the 5-year, $125 million extension.
Yeah, right.
With a guy who plays a dangerous position relative to quarterback, you can't turn your nose up when the financial ship comes in with multi-generational wealth.
Exactly.
You can't do it.
Right.
So now he's in a position where he's getting close to the end of the contract. He's getting close to the end of his window. Let me go somewhere where I can be in position to hold the trophy when the season ends. I only wish he was doing. Why didn't he do the rounds? This would have been great. Show up Thursday. Maybe he still
Maybe he will be.
Maybe he will be here.
Hey, the fact that he did this and when this, what I would say, somewhat scorched earth for the NFL here and this kind of move here, this is aggressive. It's certainly a huge shot to Cleveland to go, I don't want to be here. I'm not coming back. Please trade me. Let's move on. And I'm going to be pumped to see what happens here.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.